The Pittsburgh Steelers have one of the most overrated game day experiences in the entire NFL. But that's not coming from me. That's according to a study from the Action Network that ranked all 30 NFL cities based on their game day experiences. And after calculating the price of parking, the cheapest ticket, a hot dog, and a beer, they gave each city a score out of 20. And Pittsburgh ranked as the 7th worst city at number 23 out of 30. Not to mention the thousands of one-star reviews that bash everything from the out-of-control prices to the atrocious stadium layout, with several fans even calling it one of the worst venues in the entire NFL. But to see just how accurate these reviews actually are, I went to a game myself with the goal of buying these 4 things to see if they would cost more or less than the NFL average of $223.06. And first up was getting to the stadium. Now, I know that at Lambeau Field, parking prices can get up to $100 per car, so I was pleasantly surprised to find a ramp for just $8, a little over a mile away from the stadium. And honestly, with this view, I didn't mind the walk. However, that meant next up was actually getting my ticket. And I was a little worried that this alone was going to blow my entire budget, since this was one of the most anticipated games of the year. But after looking across all the major apps for the cheapest price, I found this seat on TickPick for just $170. But even though I was now inside the stadium, I still had to make my way over to the concession stand, where I got a hot dog for $7.95 and one of the cheapest tall boys I've seen at any sporting event for just $9.99. Now, before I reveal my final total, I have to admit, my experience was nothing like what those reviews or that study warned. Not only is the scenery around Acrisure Stadium some of the best in pro sports, but our section had a roof to protect us from the elements, and even though this was a night game, the fact that the stadium looks out onto the river makes up for any clunky layout. And even though I'm a little biased for liking the fact that the Go Pack Go chants may or may not have overpowered the terrible towel, the truth is, this game day experience is going to be hard to beat, especially since I ended up spending almost $30 less than the NFL average for one of the biggest games of the year. Not bad.